Hey guys, this is a topic that comes up fairly regularly, doesn't it? But it's one of those things that I was never really keen to take on because just way too emotional with some people and could cause too many dramas and so on. But there's been a couple of things lately that have put it back in my face, so I want to have a talk about it. First of all, I just want to say, if you want to believe in Christian ideals or Hindu ideals or Islam ideals or anything else, Buddhist or anything else, or atheist or whatever you want to believe, as far as I'm concerned, everybody's entitled to believe whatever they want to believe, you know? And if you want to talk about your beliefs, so if you want to make YouTube videos talking about your beliefs, or you want to make TV programs talking about your beliefs, or you want to stand on street corners and talk about your beliefs with a PA system or something, then I support your right to do that as well. Or if you want to start your own church and, you know, say that you know, you believe in aliens or whatever it is, whatever your beliefs are, as far as I'm concerned, everybody's entitled to their beliefs. Everybody's entitled to express their beliefs, and it's the way it should be. But I think what has been a huge problem for humanity for a very long time is people who try to put their beliefs on other people, and we get different extremes of this or different levels of this. What triggered this video was there's some guy in America who's walking around at the moment with t-shirts on with a big finger pointing saying you're a whore, and basically what he's doing is he's telling women, any woman who's had sex outside marriage or sex before marriage or sex outside marriage, that she's a whore, basically. He's not actually telling a lot of big guys that. He's not approaching huge men in the street and saying, are you married? No. Are you having sex? Yes. Well, you're a whore and a slut and a bitch. And he's not actually doing that, I noticed. In the video I saw of him doing this, he was doing it to women, which is a bit weak. But anyway, another double standard going on there. But that's one extreme. That's one example of putting your beliefs down other people's throats. Now he's a Christian. He's saying that as far as Christianity is concerned, you know, people having sex outside marriage are whores. So he feels a need to go out in public and tell everybody that. Now, telling everybody that's one thing. Standing on a street corner and saying that is one thing. But his way of doing it's a bit more confrontational than that. He's doing that one-on-one with people as well, which is starting to get to the point, putting it down the people's throats. And then you've got the other extremists, or the extremists of this, the extreme version of this, where people go into other people's countries because of religion, or fight wars like the Crusades, or a million other examples of people killing each other based on religion. And it's just bullshit. You know, there was a video on the internet the other day of something blowing up somewhere and a whole heap of people getting killed, and you can hear the guys in the background, Allah Akbar, you know. Well, the problem with this is, guys, is if you want to believe in God or gods or a god or another god or God by another name or whatever you want to believe in, that's all fine. But to say that a god has sent you out to kill people is just bullshit. Sorry, but it just is. And we get that from both sides. We also get the Christians that are in other people's countries killing people as well, that say God's on our side. You know, I was watching a documentary the other day from World War I, and it showed footage from World War I of the people on the French and English, Australian, Canadian, American side, saying God was on their side and they were fighting for God, and God was supporting them and God was behind them. And then they had the Germans who were saying the same thing, and they're telling each other that God was on their side. And it's still happening now, isn't it? You got these people in these countries saying that God's on our side, telling us we can go kill these people, and the people that they're killing are saying God's on their side, and they can go around and kill people. And it's just bullshit. You know, look, whatever you want to believe, that's fine, but these things that are written down, these books that this information's coming from, these Bibles and things that these things are coming from, were written by people Now, if you believe that Jesus Christ existed and said all those things, that's great. But the Bible, the Christian Bible, was written by people after the guy was already dead, and then rewritten and translated and rewritten and translated. You know, no photocopiers 2,000 years ago. So the guys that wrote the stuff after he'd already died wrote it, and then it was copied by hand by some other dudes, and then copied by hand by some other dudes, and then translated to some other languages, and copied again, and copied again, and copied again. So, as always when things like that happen, and the other thing is too that you've got organisations here. Now, you know, I think people's belief in a pure religion is a good thing often, not always. But, you know, people who believe in a God and believe in loving humanity and loving one another, and the rules generally in religions tend to be good. You know, don't kill people, don't steal, you know, don't do bad shit to other people, usually is the rule, isn't it, with most of those religions. And those sorts of rules and those sorts of guidelines as a way to live are a fairly positive thing, aren't they? You know, but what tends to happen is over the years, over the millennia, these different religions are run by groups of old men, usually, who want everybody to follow them, and they want power and they want to be listened to and everything else. So they're the ones that write into these things and tell people, write in the books and tell people that our religion's the only religion and anybody else is bad. You know, I don't believe if there was a guy called Jesus Christ, I don't believe he would have stood up on a hill somewhere and said, hey, anybody who doesn't believe in our religion needs to die. I know there's quotes in the Bible along those lines, but I don't believe that anybody that's found enlightenment. Look what happens when people find enlightenment. You know, even in recent times, when people find enlightenment or when people get really spiritually charged up, what do they usually do? They usually go off to somewhere really isolated, don't they? The most religiously enlightened, or the most spiritual is a better word than religious, the most spiritually enlightened people generally go off to a top of a mountain somewhere and live in a cave, or go off into a monastery somewhere, or go off and sit in a room somewhere for the next 50 years. That tends to be what people that are spiritually enlightened tend to do. You know, they talk about the Buddha sitting under a tree and becoming enlightened, and you know, people that are enlightened tend to do that, and people that find spirituality tend to do that, and even in you've got recent examples of that too. Or they dedicate themselves to helping people. And there's people in our histories now, from whatever religion, from Muslims or Christians or whoever, you know, there's examples, lots of examples of this in recent history as well. You know, Mother Teresa and all sorts of people that dedicate themselves to helping people that need help. And there's lots of less extreme examples or less well-known examples of people doing the same thing. And that generally tends to be what spiritually enlightened people do. They don't go off fighting wars. That's other bullshit. That sort of stuff. People that go kill other people because of religion, they're being manipulated by other people. And they're being told that that's the thing to do, and God says go and fight these people and God will bless you. And they get promised virgins, or they get promised, you know, all sorts of stuff, don't they, to go off and do these things. And that's the act of men. That's not the act of gods. That's the act of men that are doing that are sending people off doing these things. You know, it's bullshit. It's the same as these guys going out in the street. Look, I think offering people the opportunity to learn more about a religion or about spiritual stuff is a good thing. You know, if you open a church, or you open some food place somewhere where you give away food to the homeless people and offer them a chance to come to religious services, or, you know, extend the hand to people and allow them the opportunity, if they want to learn more about it, that's fair enough. But forcing your beliefs on other people and forcing other people to, you know, and in any way, whether that be stopping people in the street and calling them whores because, you know, they have sex outside marriage, or whether it means going into other people's countries and killing them because they believe in a different God, is just bullshit. That's not a spiritual thing. There's nothing spiritual about that. That's bullshit. That's a man thing. It's a human thing. And it's being manipulated by other humans, you know, and and people that religion is the thing that is so, people are so susceptible to being brainwashed about this, that there's probably two reasons that people jam their beliefs down other people's throats. One is that they're not confident in enough themselves, that they're really so insecure about their belief in whatever it is that they feel that they have to try and convince everybody else that it's the only true religion and the only true God. If you really genuinely believe, it's the same as the people that get all emotional about gay people. If you genuinely are comfortable with what you believe and with what you feel, you don't care what other people believe and feel. You don't feel the need to change. Or you might, doesn't mean you don't care about what other people think and feel. You know, you might listen to it and so on, but you don't feel the need to change everybody else. If you're comfortable in what you believe, if you believe in Christianity or Islam or whatever it is that you believe in, or being straight or being gay or whatever it is that you believe in your life, if you genuinely believe in that and are comfortable with it, you don't need to jam it down other people's throats. You know, it tends to be one of the reasons that people seem to want to do this stuff, is that they're insecure about it themselves. That's one reason. And the other reason comes back to the man thing again, is that the old men who tend to run these religions want to recruit new members. And they always have, right? Going back 2,000 years in the case of Christianity, they want to recruit as many members as possible because, you know, the churches want to have power, the churches want to have money, the churches want to have everybody following them. And the best way to do that is to recruit everybody. So you send out all your members out to recruit more people. I was thinking some religions are really like Amway. It's like a pyramid thing. The guys at the top send out people and go out and bring in new members. And so they tell them, go out and save these people's souls, and you know, you need to convince them, you need to save their souls, go out and save their souls. So dudes are out banging on people's doors. Have you heard about Jesus Christ lately? You know, which to me too is stepping over the boundary. There's a difference between standing on a street corner and banging on people's doors. There's no real need. Put a brochure in the letterbox if you want to, and then if they're interested, they can come see you. Don't go banging on people's doors, jamming your religion down their throats. And again, there's two reasons that people are doing that. One is because the church wants to build up membership, whichever church that happens to be. You know, there's not just the one doing it, they're all doing it in one way or another. They all want to get new members. That's the one reason. And the other one is that people that genuinely believe they're saving people's souls. And there is people like that genuinely believe that they're doing you a favour. If they can talk you into joining their religion, that they're doing you a favour. Again, similar to Amway. If they can convince you that it's a good thing, that they're doing you a big favour, you know, because they believe it. They believe that it's been good for them, so they think that they should convince everybody else to do it. But again, these are all the extremists. You know, they talk about, usually in the Western media, when we hear about religious extremists, usually they're talking about Muslims going around blowing things up, right? But as far as I can see, it's religious extremists of every flavour that are causing the hassles. You know, it's the you know, nothing bothers me more than hearing the Allah Akbar from the Muslims, but also the Christians as well. You know, the guys, the Westerners that are in other people's countries, all getting around in a circle before they go out. You know, God help us to go and defeat these guys and take down these bad guys. Well, really? You follow a God who wants other people killed? Really? I just don't believe that. I mean, the most spiritual people that I've come across in my life don't talk about killing other people. Don't talk about jamming anything down other people's throats. Don't talk about any of this aggressive shit. You know, like what I've heard from genuinely spiritual people about Christian God and about Muslim God and about Buddha and about all these different philosophies, about Hindu, is and what those people have been really genuinely loving, kind, good people that aren't trying to do anything else, anything negative to anybody else, you know? So, I don't know, I think there's just something primitive about it. There's just something primitive and unenlightened about it. There really is. I just cannot imagine. I don't know about religions personally. I don't know. But let's just imagine for a moment that you get Jesus and Buddha and what was his name? What was his Muhammad and all those guys in a room together. What do you reckon they'd be like? I imagine if you got all those guys in a room together, they'd be going, yeah. Because to me, the central, real core of what those religions talk about seems to be the same. I can't see those guys having a problem with each other. I really can't. I imagine them if they're in a room together, there'd be some fundamental names for things, and there'd be some fundamental sort of things where they'd probably just avoid talking about it. They go, oh yeah, you got that, I know you believe in that, that's fine. But the real nuts and bolts, the real fundamental of it, the real getting right down to the centre of it, I think they'd agree. They'd go, yeah, that's good, and they'd agree. And you know, Buddhism isn't really a religion, it's more of a belief system, or I don't know, just like some ideas. Really, it's pretty light. And if you listen to Buddhists, they're like that. They go, yeah, okay, right, Christian, yeah, that's interesting, yeah, you know. They don't care, you know. And again, there's been extremists, there has been Buddhist extremists, and there still is. There still are Buddhist extremists, you know, they do exist. But generally, you know, and I think the fundamentals, I've been really close to Catholic people, I've been really close to Muslim people. I knew a fantastic Hindu guy. One of the nicest people I've ever met in my life was a Hindu guy. Just a delightful, delightful man he was. Father of my girlfriend he was. But amazingly inspired, wonderful people. And him and the Catholic guy that I knew and these other people that I knew that were really super spiritual people was very similar to each other. They really, really were. Those guys wouldn't have fought. If I'd ever managed to get them into a room together, there's no way they would have fought each other. No way in the world. They were lovely people. And they would, oh, tell me, really? Oh, you're a Catholic? Oh, right, okay. Well, you know, how's that working out for you? Good? Excellent. What about you? Hindu? Oh, Hindu, right, okay. Yeah, you've got the guys with the arms, right there. That'd be good. You know, they're the good, real spiritual people. Real spiritual people. They love other people, right? They love other people and they accept other people and they don't feel the need to go and change everybody else's thinking. You know, freedom of speech is a good thing. Freedom of speech is a good thing. If everyone wants to make a video on YouTube talking about what they think, it's a good thing. And other people can choose to listen or not to listen. That's a good thing too. Freedom to listen, I think, is an important freedom. Freedom of speech is a good one, but freedom to listen or to ignore is also an important freedom. Way it should be, you know? And that's as far as it should go, I think. I think there's no need to try and, you know, that's why I don't argue on the internet. I don't see the need to try and convince other people to think something different. You know, if I make a video and say something and then someone else leaves a comment on the video and says, I really don't agree with anything you said on this, it's like, well, okay, that's fine. Of course. We can't all think the same. I quite often find that what these people say about religion tends to be the same thing with different names. I don't see any big differences myself, but if they do, that's fine. You know, if they feel that their religion's the only true religion, that's fine. And they feel that the other religions aren't real, well, that's okay. Who cares? Let the other people think that. And I think it's different when you've got situations like Ireland and Israel and Palestine, where you've got people fighting over territory. That's a different aspect again. That's way more complex, isn't it? You know, trying to sort that stuff out, because that's not just about religion really, that's about all sorts of complex political and geographical problems. That's a different thing again. But just as far as, you know, what you think and what the guy that lives in the next street thinks, or you know, the people who live in that other country think, well, you know, come on. Just believe what you want. And this goes across to the gay thing as well. Watching that thing on YouTube recently, that gay football guy, you know, and everybody gets so emotional about it. Oh, he's terrible, God will punish him, God will punish him. Well, will he? I don't think so. You know, if that's what he wants to do, let him do it. Why do you care? I don't care what other people do in their bedroom. I don't necessarily want to see what other people do in their bedroom, gay or straight. You know, yeah, watching other people have sex isn't my idea of a good time myself. But who cares what other people do? Who cares? You know, this is lack of tolerance is one of the biggest problems we've got in the world and in societies in general. Lack of tolerance. You know, who cares what other people do? If it directly affects you, okay. If something that someone else is doing is directly physically affecting your lifestyle in some way and somehow causing you some harm, then fair enough. But if it's not, if it's just what that person believes or what that person does in their own home, or you know who that person prays to or something else, who cares? Who cares? And you know, and these extremists that, you know, someone talks about their religion or criticises their religion or something, that they all got to kill them, they've all got to die. Well, really? Why? Why? Someone else says they don't believe in your God and they don't think it's true, and they believe something else. Okay, all right. All right. If you genuinely believe that that person's not going to go to heaven because they don't believe in your God, well, they're already going to get punished, aren't they? If that's what you believe. If you believe that anybody that doesn't believe in your God's going to get punished and not go to heaven or go to hell or some other nasty thing's going to happen to them, well, they're all already going to get sorted out. And that's the other thing. If you're believing in some divine being that controls everything, you don't need to get involved. If you've got some God that can control everything that happens, let them sort it out. You don't have to sort it out. If your God's going to sort it out, the people who believe and those who don't and everything else, well, let him sort it out. You don't have to go to another country with bombs or guns or drones or anything else and kill other people. Let God sort it out. He'll sort it out for you. Right? If he's a divine being, he can do more than you can. Stay home, watch TV, mind your own business, and let your God sort it out for you. That makes more sense, doesn't it? He doesn't need your help. He doesn't need your help. And don't let anybody tell you differently. Just because somebody's telling you it says in the Bible this, or it says in that book this, in this book it says this, well, yeah, right, who wrote that book? And I know that religions say the gods wrote the books. Well, yeah, you know, it was the hand of God wrote the book. Well, yeah, okay, but yeah, someone then interpreted it and rewrote it and changed it again and again and again and rewrote it and then interpreted it again. And what you're saying is like the 1000th version of it. So anyway, please don't lose your minds. Again, anybody who wants to leave a comment and have a different opinion on this is welcome to, but please try and keep it polite. Okay, let's not get all aggressive and abusive about it. Let people have their different opinions and say what they think without abusing them, because any abuse will be deleted and rude people will be blocked. But please feel free to leave a totally opposite opinion to those that you've seen expressed on this video, and providing it's done politely, I guarantee everybody will get a chance to read it. Peace to everybody. More videos coming soon.